Hello everybody. Well, the reason why I'm doing this video, actually this video is primarily for me, and I'm going to continue doing some videos. And I had an idea to stay in my vortex, to help me stay in my vortex. And I know I was inspired because I started listening to Abraham Hicks again. And on my spiritual journey, she actually has been one of the people that I've listened to from the beginning because I used to have anxiety. And I would listen to her breathe in, breathe out videos, and they helped me so much. And I continued to expand on my spiritual journey from that. And so I'm so grateful for that experience. Well, I'm at a place right now where I feel like it's important for me to stay in my vortex. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because in life, I see the light and the dark, the good and the bad. And my personal thought process is that I choose to master that space. And one of the things that I've been experiencing or hearing from listening to her videos again is that staying in the vortex. And people think to myself, I would think that some people might say, well, what is the vortex? Well, from what I get from what the vortex is that space that is so clear, so loving, so peaceful, so gentle, especially from the videos that I've listened to her speaking about. And the reason why I'm doing this for myself is so I realize how to stay in my vortex and actually recognize and realize that when I'm in my vortex, how I feel. And I know that I've been in my vortex and creating from that space before because I've watched experiences, certain things happen in my life that were so easy and graceful. And it was because I stayed in my vortex. And so since I stayed in my vortex, but I watched those things occur. So I'm at a place now that I choose to master that space because it happens and you're like, okay, I'm going in it, I'm moving in it, and things are happening. I feel good, I feel great, but you don't even realize that you're creating an amazing vortex. You're putting certain things in that good feeling place, and it's not work. And from what I keep hearing Abraham Hicks say is that it's there. There's no doing in the space, and so I've come to the conclusion for myself on a daily basis. I choose to, whenever I definitely want to sit down and recognize more of it, I feel like some of it I'm going to write, and definitely some of it I'm going to video and share. Um, and like I said, I'm doing this primarily for myself. If anybody else chooses to take a hold of this, that's fantastic. I'm glad, but I'm doing this for myself so I can realize and recognize and see how things move. Mastering your vortex is so important to me right now because we're creative beings. And so, since we're creative beings, let's create. Um, there's two sides of we live in a polarity world, is what I've learned, and in that vortex space, there is no polarity. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no right or there's no wrong. Recognizing, realizing, not having resistance. These are all the statements that she says in her videos. And I personally want to utilize those in my life because I'm watching myself and I'm watching other people. So it's kind of like observation. I've moved into a place of observation, observing other people. And I've always observed other people, but I am at a place where I'm observing, of course, myself, even with more gratitude and gratefulness because I'm expanding myself and accepting and releasing, allowing myself to release the place of resistance because it's not necessary. And when you're in the vortex, it's not necessary. And what I've learned also is being in the vortex is being in your heart and making decisions from that place, because there's no difficulty, there's no resistance, there's just love there. And I choose to be in that space all the time. However, it is in the world that we live in, we can have experiences that certain things can trigger us or make us angry or upset. And I remember being on um, Dr. S's show a few times, and these are some of the things that we would discuss. But for me, I'm taking it on another, I'm leading on another road for myself, because I am choosing to master this space on a daily basis. And in order for to help me do that, I feel like it is important for me to share my experiences, because it feels good. That's the reason why I want to share it, because it feels good. And that was one of the things that it was an idea that came to me from the vortex, because it feels good. And so that is why I'm making these videos, and I'm going to continue to make these videos, because I want to remain in my vortex. Feeling good is feeling life, feeling peace, feeling prime source creator is what I call it, the universe. I want to be in it all the time. And I know that it is possible, because so many people, it's kind of like dipping in. It's like you've got that really yummy, good food that you're eating, and you're like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so freaking good. Oh my God, I want to eat some more. And it's like, you're in. It's like, I got in, but you don't know you're in. And so since you're in, you want to stay there. I asked a friend just recently, and I remember I was inspired to go over her house and spend time with her son. He's a little 2.5, so cute. So I was inspired. I wanted to be in that space of vortex. So I was inspired, called her up, found out, text her to find out if I could come over. Her dad was taking care of the baby, and I just wanted to spend time with them. And so when I got there, you know, it wasn't bad or good. Usually I text to let someone know that I'm on my way or I'm coming. Well, it turns out the text didn't go through, and I didn't even pay attention that the text didn't go through, because I had made another errand before I left there. I mean, left for their house. And so when I arrived, he opened the door, and he was in the process of actually putting the baby to sleep, and I didn't realize it. So anyway, I come in, and we work on getting the baby to go to sleep. More me. He was like, I was trying to get the baby to go to sleep, and he didn't go to sleep. So he goes, maybe you can try. And I'm like, okay, well, first and foremost, I know really that it is important for a person to have consistency, because children work off consistency. That's just what I've learned in my past history with children, that they work best with consistency. You need to have like a process, and it's not going to happen overnight. It can, but it's not common. That's what I get. So anyway, during the course of the evening, I think I stayed there for I got there probably like 2:30, and I was there for at least about 4.5 hours until she got home. I played with the baby and enjoyed him. But one of the things that I definitely noticed, because before this idea came, I was in observation and I was there to learn. So that's what happens with me, is that I observe people and I enjoy it, because we are all so very interesting. And then one of the reasons why I observe people is because I'm learning about myself, and I'm learning about what I like, what I don't like, what I'm choosing for myself, what I'm not choosing for myself. And that's part of like learning about being in the vortex and actually being a creator. And so I want to master myself. And I am mastering myself. That's why I'm doing these videos. That's why the idea came up. So while I'm there with them, I see the contrast You've got this baby so excited about life. He's playing. He's constantly in the vortex. The only time he's not in the vortex is when mommy comes home and he starts to cry. There's some emotional thing that he's processing through, and that, when you're not in the vortex, you're not feeling good. So during the whole time we're there, he's bumped his head, hurt himself, fall, laughed, played, inspirationally had a moment of laughter. He was sitting on the couch and he just 2.5 just starts cracking up. And I'm like, because I'm watching this and I'm like, this is the stuff I want to learn, because I know children are more consistently in the vortex than adults are. That's one of the problems with us, is that children constantly create their vortex space from laughter and loving and joy, running around, playing, and people want to give them stuff. Hello? Hello? Is anybody hearing me? People want to give them stuff. Their light is so bright. That's you. That's us. That's me. That's everybody has the ability to create from that space. And so it's so exciting, actually. And then on the other end of that contrast, I see Grandpa. And Grandpa is yelling at the cat, "Get off of there!" Oh gosh, he was livid about everything, just so irritated and angry and upset. That's when you're not in the vortex. So Spirit allowed me to see both sides. And that was the first time I've experienced that with them there. Grandpa seems to be more relaxed when the daughter is there. He doesn't act that extreme, but I'm not there with him all the time. So I don't know how he is, but he's just, God, you can't create anything from that space. You cannot create anything from anger and frustration, except more anger and frustration. Well, you know what? I have to clarify that. Let's go back. Yes, you can create. You're creating more of the pain, anger, frustration, hurt, just things that you don't want. That's you're putting that in your vortex. Now you're putting that into your vortex. And that's interesting. Now I'm going to have to evaluate that for myself. It's like, I'm in the vortex. I'm in the vortex. What does it look like? What does it feel like? I'm in the vortex. Oh my God. I'm so happy. I have friends around me. I'm loving life. I'm feeling good. I like my life. I like all the things that I do and all the things that I say. Oh my God. I'm even in the vortex in my sleeping hours. Oh my God. I can hear it going around and around like a recorder. That's been happening too. Once I began to become not just conscious, but more aware that that's what I'm choosing to create in my vortex. It's like a stepping stone. And that's one of the things that she actually even says too. It's like, get more into that ease and space. If you're at the extreme of something, like a person that's so angry, there's no way that they could get from like anger, feeling frustrated, mad at a whole bunch of certain things, and then like, oh, everything's wonderful. They're not gonna, it doesn't work that way with us. They have to get to a stage. And so she talks about that. So anyway, don't want to make this video very long, but I just want to share, and I'm so excited to be part of the community, of the YouTube community, to express how I feel about where my inspiration. And my inspiration is evaluating the light and the dark, the good and the bad, the polarities, and then coming into that center place where the vortex is, where I get to plant stuff in. It's like, wow, how much more of a creator can you be when you know that you have the tools to create something that's not in this physical world that makes you feel joy? And you have the contrast of not doing that. So I'm going to utilize my experiences in my life to show when I am creating something in the vortex that's great, and when I'm creating something in the vortex that's not so great. I'm choosing not to say good or bad for myself only because it's not bad. It's not even good. It just is. And the contrast that she talks about makes so much sense to me. It's like it is contrast. And one of the things she says, and then I'm going to end with this, is that contrast leads you in to what you really prefer in your life, because you see that and then you say, I don't think I really like that. I think I'm going to choose something different. And so you have a choice. So choose the life that you want to live and feel good. If you want to feel good, you have that option. If you don't want to feel good, you have that option. There's no judgment here. Love, light, peace, joy, everything good. I'm happy. So be well, be loved, be gentle to yourselves. And I am going to do my part in being gentle to myself as well. Peace, love.